Somewhere in the course of time there lies Isranasa, a world blessed by peace and tranquility. Surrounded by seas of sparkling cobalt, the lands of Isranasa were once divided among 5 kingdoms: Farlane, Wingard, Norland, Sordis, and Mortavia.
Ah, a young adult novel. I see.
Of the 5, Farlane prospered under the rule of King Corwin the Just. But it was a prosperity that ended on the night of the 7th moon when Farlane's capital, Sylvan, was unexpectedly invaded by a horde of savage monsters. Battered and confused from the surprise attack, the soldiers of Farlane were unable to prevent the monsters from entering the castle walls. Despite the seemingly hopeless situation, Farlane prevailed.
Oh yeah, that's clearly visually apparent.
And by the break of dawn, not a monster remained standing. However, the joys of victory were short-lived.
You don't say.
For King Corwin was dead, leaving Farlane without a leader. Shortly thereafter, Baron Drax assumed the regency in place of Prince Logan, Corwin's son, who was considered to be too young to inherit the throne. To ensure the safety of the young prince, Logan was sent to the village of exile on the Isle of Glen. There, he was to stay until his 16th birthday, when he could finally be crowned king. That was 10 years ago.
If you thought that voice acting wasn't great, oh, trust me, you're in for a treat. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Let's Play Dragon Slayer: The Legend of Heroes. Only the 3rd Dragon Slayer game we got here in the West, though I believe I want to say it's the 6th Dragon Slayer game, period. It's more prominent for its subtitle Legend of Heroes, but if you're a Trails fan, you know what that means. Time for an anime opening. Good morning, Prince Logan. It's time to get up.
A fine morning to you, my lord.
Good morning, Elias.
Ah, my dear Prince Logan. I understand from the gate guards that you're still indulging in slime bashing. I hardly think that such a childish pastime befits one who is destined to inherit the throne in just 2 more months. As I've said time and time again, the future is shaped by knowledge. I'm sure you'll agree that your time would be better spent in study rather than chasing those ghastly green jelly globs. Now, if you'll pardon me for a moment, I'll go and get my books so that we can commence with your studies.
Mmm, that delicious ham. So starting off, we actually want to go into the options and change some things in the system. First off, narration is the voice acting. We're leaving that on. PT distribution is how your points go whenever you level up. XP to go, I'm changing to red, which shows the amount to the next level. BGM, we're changing to the CD quality. I'm leaving the movement speed as it is, just because Logan and all the other characters in the game move at a decent pace to start. The faster movements are good, but I like this. By the way, get used to talking to people because it's very useful for triggering event flags in this game. Ah, another loaf burnt to a crisp. It's all because Drax forced me out of the weapon selling business. In fact, I can't even buy a rolling pin because Drax controls all the trade nowadays. Oh, that's kind of rude. I'll have to go talk to him about that. Hey there, I was down by the caves of Who yesterday. A flock of cows nearly did me in. Watch out for them. I'll have to keep an eye out for that. And in fact, if you leave the town and head over to that cave, you will die. Just about. What a smashing day to see you here at the Secret Temple. It's too bad we're living in such hard times under the terror of cowls, prowlers, and their evil brood. The Great Seeker's power seemed to be dwindling. Who knows what's next? The Seeker, by the way, in terms of context clues, is our god for this world. There's a little more to it than that, but that's mostly gone into in the sequel from my knowledge, which is the only game, I think, Legend of Heroes-wise, we have yet to see any indication of us getting, period, here in the West. Because we've gotten versions of 3 through 5 on the PSP through fan translations. We have 6 on just about, thanks to Trails. Legend of Heroes 2 never got an official or fan translation so far. I think the closest we have is a, like, machine-translated YouTube playthrough. Wait, Prince Logan, Elias told us you had to stay inside. Not again. I guess I have to stay. That's strange. Why'd he give up so easily today? I don't know. He usually argues. What's his problem? Guess we'll go over here then. Hi, Fergus. I was wondering about the secret passage. Yeah, Prince Sir. I finished it this morning. But I'm worried that we'll get in trouble if Elias finds out. Not to worry. I'll take care of Elias. Where is it? Yeah, you could have just told us. You didn't have to guide us all the way there. It's a pretty small town, all things considered, Fergus. Here's the spot. Hang on a sec, it opens real easy. Go get those slimes. I'll close this up so Elias won't know. We're literally right in front of him, dude. Thanks for your help, Fergus. See ya. Sure, anything for my friends. And now we can access the world map. But there's not much you can do, because if you go into that cave there, you'll find those cowls they were talking about, and they'll kill you because Logan doesn't have a lot of stats to start. For now, we want to roam around until we find some green slimes. These are the first enemies in the game. Battles are pretty self-explanatory. HP is directly noted beneath the enemies by default. Just physically attack and they will die. You can do some minor grinding here, but I would recommend waiting on that overall, honestly. The green slimes have nothing really notable about them. There are some minor quirks about the battle system, but I think I'll talk about those when we get battles that last longer than a single turn. So stay out here however long you need to, and once you're done, we can head back into the town for plot progression. I think the farthest I've gotten here is maybe level 2, just from grinding. Not worth the time. Prince Logan, have you had your fun for the day? I've taken care of Fergus. I doubt if he'll be digging any more holes in the walls. Besides, I dread to think what your father would say. And I'm sure that it would break your mother's heart if she knew what you were up to. So how about coming back to the manor and getting down to your studies? After all, there are only 2 more months to your coronation. Okay, fine. If you turn off the narration, by the way, in the options, you just get text boxes over the voiced scenes. Your future depends on what you study. You must fulfill your royal destiny. Elias preaches on and on. Okay, Elias. I get the message. I'll try harder. It's just that I miss my mom and think about my father all the time. I know this is hard for you, Prince. But soon you'll be seeing your mother, and maybe then you can learn of your father's death. But sleep now, because there's a hard day of study ahead of you. It's time to sleep. I'll help you retire. I've been up for like 5 minutes, maid. Calm down. Sweet dreams, Prince.
Prince Logan, wake up!
We're under attack, my lord. Monsters everywhere. There's not a moment to lose. Please arm yourself and follow me. This way, my lord, through the secret passage.
Wait, what about you?
We're right behind you, my lord. Now hurry, there's no time to waste.
What's going on, Elias? Open the door.
I'm afraid we're a bit outnumbered, my lord. Though it's been some time since I've lifted a sword, I'm sure I can hold off a few of the beasties while you make good your escape.
Let me help.
You can, my lord, by not wasting another minute arguing with me. Go to Castle Sylvan. Send back reinforcements. We'll hold out until they arrive. Now go!
I'll be back, Elias. I'll be back.
Huh. Usually you have to wait an hour for a town to be attacked like that in an RPG. So now we can enter the Who Cave, our first cave of the game. And caves, like many in Pokemon, are usually dark, so 9 times out of 10 you're going to need a torch to expand how far you can see. You can get around in the dark, it's just going to be really hard. And there I used a Seeker Eye, which brings up the map of the area you're currently in, but does get used up in the process. We'll be able to buy those down the line. And these are Cabals, 40 HP. Whenever you're in a dungeon or cave, enemies are always visible on the map. They're not always in predetermined locations, but sometimes they are like these Cowls. Cowls, by the way, I think can only physically attack. But now let's talk about level ups. Whenever you level up with a character, you get points that you can put into any of their stats. You get between 5 and 7 points you can add total. On automatic, these go into set things, I think, but with manual distribution, I get to put them into whatever I want. And while we're early in the game, where we get level ups really quickly, I want to put as many points into my strength and intellect stats as I can. As for what the stats do, strengths and intellect slightly determine your physical and magical damage, but the main thing they determine is your HP and MP respectively. Whenever you level up, you get your strength stat multiplied by 2 added to your HP, and you get your intellect stat directly into your MP. Speed is pretty by the numbers for a lot of RPGs. It determines the turn order, but it's not one-to-one like Logan will go if he's faster than these 3 Cowls, then the Cowls will each go in order. The game is slightly active time combat like Final Fantasy would be starting in 4. We just don't get to see any kind of active time bars, so if you have a high enough speed stat, Logan could go 3 times before any of those Cowls get even a chance to. You're not often going to see that, but it can happen if you do enough grinding or go back to earlier parts of the game. Luck stat is a bit of a weird one though. That determines multiple things. It's essentially your evasion and accuracy stats in one. The higher it is relative to an enemy's, the more likely you are to get hit, dodge an attack, hit an enemy period, or get a critical. And do that down the line, that's going to be a stat we put a lot of points into, but for right now, we are going to be mainly focusing on our HP and MP. For a lot of the early parts of the game, the way I distribute stats is usually like, if I get 5 points, it's like 3 into strength, 2 into intellect, until intellect usually reaches about 15, at which point I will usually start putting my stats into like 2 strength, 2 speed, 1 luck, things like that. I usually don't like games that allow me to allocate my points myself, because I find myself getting anxious over potentially messing up my stat tree permanently and putting myself into a bad situation. But with how few stats there are in this game and how directly they correlate to things, I find it's very easy to just do this compared to the automatic. The cave, though, as you can see, not a lot to write home about. The herb, by the way, is just a basic healing item. Let's get into Sylvan and see Drax. Hello, everyone. I need immediate help. You, stop. I haven't seen you before. Give me your name. I'm Prince Logan. I just came from the town of Exile. It's a slaughter and we need help. I must see Baron Drax now. Prince Logan? Don't move an inch. We have orders about you. Yeah, but hopefully it will help us. Come on, man. What a surprise. It's Prince Logan. Baron Drax is waiting to speak to you. You'll have to follow me to the throne room. That's a waste of time. We need your help now. That's too bad. Men, grab him. What are you doing? Get your hands off of me.
My lord Drax, I bring you Prince Logan.
Ah, my dear prince, welcome to Castle Sylvan.
Drax, what's the meaning of this?
I'm glad we were able to catch you before you wandered around the city. After all, you are one of the dearly departed.
Dearly departed?
Departed, expired, passed away, take your pick. pick. The point is you were supposed to have perished when the monsters attacked Exile. At least that's what I've got the kingdom believing. What's more, since you're no longer with us, I've humbly offered to sacrifice my time and accept the crown in your place. Aside from the inconvenient fact that you're still alive, a situation that I will soon remedy, all goes according to plan. At least your father, the late King Corwin, had the sense to stay deceased when I arranged the last monster attack 10 years ago. Of course, it probably helped that I did the job myself, rather than leaving things in the hands of those clumsy monsters. Oh well, please understand that it's nothing personal, but I would like to take you out of the picture once and for all. Unfortunately, securing my position as sovereign involves marriage with your mother, the lovely Queen Sylvia. To date, she hasn't agreed to my proposal. But if I throw your life into the deal, I'm sure she'll find me to be a worthy husband. So, for now, I offer you a pleasant night in our rat-infested dungeons. Take him away.
This is just not Logan's day, is it? And we are stuck here. We can't do anything. Just wait around and hope something happens, I guess. Oh, look, something happening. Hello, brave stranger.
Prince Logan, praise the Seeker you're still alive.
And who might you be?
Ethan, my lord, I'm a friend. I've come to free you.
Just lead me to Drax, and I'll put an end to his evil designs once and for all.
Out of the question, dear prince. He's too well guarded. Your first priority is to get out of here in one piece. Live to fight another day. Now follow me.
Wait, my weapons were taken, Ethan. Right, there may be trouble. Here. Thanks. And another thing, take this gold. We better get a move on, Prince. And remember, I'll always stand by you. And he's, to not lie in there, he basically never leaves our party compared to some other characters. Now, we got the knife just then. I didn't mention it, but the reason we were able to beat the Cowls in the Who Cave is because of the equipment that Elias gave us. If you went there before that, you would have died. Ethan, what took you so long down there? It's a real honor, Prince Logan. My friends call me Keith the Cobra. All of us in the Resistance have been worried sick about you. For the moment, you're safe, but when Drax discovers that you slipped, his noose, he'll begin a manhunt for you. Ethan, get the Prince to Revere Village as fast as you can. Revere? Where's Revere? It's to the east. There you'll find Aaron. He leads us in the Resistance, and he served under King Corwin, your father. And don't worry, no one will recognize you because you've been gone so long. But I'm worried about Exile. What's wrong, Prince? I left my friend Elias there. He was in great peril. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but Exile was ransacked by Drax's beasts. Not a soul remains. The whole land's in peril. Drax. His misery is going to be my mission in life. We've got to kick his darkness till it turns daylight. Okay, so now we can walk around town. But be careful here. Before we move forward, we want to go into our stats and equipment real quick, because if we compare Logan's stats here, even with the level ups we got in the Who Cave, to Ethan's, despite him only being a level higher, he's got much more notable stats, especially in his attack and defense down there. And we can remedy that slightly for now, because the main thing that's making Ethan's defense so high is his buckler shield, which we can just take over to Logan, and they'll have equal defense, just to help Logan's survivability a bit here. Speaking of survivability, though, in the menu there, you might have noticed an option called Leader. That allows you to select from the right side of the screen whose sprite you want to be the controllable one here on the left. And for the most part, you can spend the game like that as Logan, and there's only some minor changes of dialogue depending on who's in the front. But you don't want to be Logan here in Sylvan right now, because if you talk to the soldiers like this one right here, you get thrown into a fight that is technically winnable, just very unlikely with the current levels and equipment we have. Don't do it, just stick as Ethan in Sylvan for now. Hi, glad to see you, but there's a holiday today. Lord Drax is being crowned, so we can't open up shop. To tell you the truth, I'm happy to see a crowning because I don't have to work. But hey, loose lips sink ships, know what I mean? Here, accept this offer. And for talking to him at this point, we actually get a detoxin. Detoxins cure the poison status, which doesn't do the usual thing in this game. I'll talk more about that, I think, probably next part. But we can't actually buy any items in here, be it the weapons or the actual items. So we'll just have to come back here later to investigate that. And you're gonna want to, because investigating the castle after the coronation's over is very key for progress. For now, let's just leave the town and head over to Revere, just due east. And let's get Logan back in charge. Although he would actually get thrown in the front like that just by progressing anyway. And if I look like I'm walking around weirdly on the map, it's because I am. More on why later. For now, let's just come into here and talk to Aaron. Ethan, I thought you were on a guerrilla mission in Sylvan. And who might this fine-looking fellow be? You behold none other than Prince Logan himself. By the Seeker! Can it be Prince Logan? Escort them down to the secret meeting chambers. I mean, if they're this easy to find, they're not exactly secret, are they? Ethan, you're back. How did it go at Sylvan, lad? Elias? How did you get here? What's happening? You look like Prince Logan. It is Prince Logan. We've rescued him from Sylvan Dungeon. What? The dungeon? Can it be true? My lord Logan, you were but a wee lad last we met. Elias, what are you talking about? You're confused. My grandfather isn't Elias. Prince Logan, meet Sonia. She's as tough as any of our rebel fighters. And this is Sir Aaron, the leader of the Resistance. My lord, it is indeed an honor to see you. I remember your father well. My brother Elias and I were royal staff. So you're his brother? You look like twins. Elias was lost in exile when I escaped. I owe him my life. You speak kindly. We'll all miss him. We thought no one had escaped the destruction of exile, but praise the Seeker you're alive. Because with you as the leader of the Resistance can't fail. Our friend, Drax, won't stand a chance. I think our first blow should fall on the pits. It's a mining town west of here. Drax forces people to work there so they hate him. If we can win them over to our side, we'll have enough men to launch a full-scale attack. On Sylvan. All for one and one for all. Great idea, Sonia. We'll get on it right away. Not so fast, Prince. There's one problem. The pits are run by a powerful fighter. We must reach level 8 to beat him. He will need to fight monsters to gain more strength. But rest now, and worry about tomorrow when it comes. How about that? Just outright saying, hey, go level grind. From now on, Prince Logan, you're our leader. And there they go, thrusting us in the front. Let's get out of here and cut them down. So, at this point, no matter what, you do need to grind. The game does this a couple times, and I do try to keep up ahead of it in some cases. Like by the end of this chapter, they want us to be about level 11, for instance. But now we can take a look around Revere and talk to the people that just have mostly flavor text. The NPCs in this game do usually give hints better than most other games of the era, especially compared to like Castlevania 2, so it's worth talking to them.
Ethan, old buddy, I see you managed to spring the prince from the royal pigsty.
Who's this overdressed fellow?
Marcus, my lord. A good-for-nothing. Ignore him and he might go away.
Yeah, I heard that. Listen, your highness, I'm sure you need all the help you can get, and I'm willing to give you a hand. But me being a level 7 spellcaster, I got my pride. I can't serve under somebody who's any less than level 6, you know what I mean? Anyway, I'll see you around.
And along the way, while we're level grinding, we want to come back into Revere just to grab Marcus there. Because, well, he might not exactly sound the most reliable, because, my god, that is very Christopher Walken-esque. He is a fantastic spellcaster. This is an item shop. For right now, they only got herbs and detoxins, but notably, item shops are the only stores in the game where you can actually sell items. You can't sell items at armorers. Before we go grinding, though, since we've now seen the scene that puts us into the Resistance officially, the coronation is counted as over in Sylvan, and that'll allow us to do some things in town. Along the way, we got a crawler here, 30 HP. These enemies can drop detoxins, but they can also hit you with the poison status ailment. Poison doesn't sap your HP in this game like it does in most RPGs. It just prevents you from moving occasionally, and after about 4 to 6 turns, I think, depending on the severity of the venom spell you get hit with, sort of, it'll just kill you outright. Thankfully, being KO'd or any other status ailment is cured automatically at the end of battle. with that said, now that we're in Sylvan, our two priorities here are to upgrade our equipment and our magic casting abilities. Because to start, I believe both Logan and Ethan have some magic. Like, I want to say they both have at least Detoxin and maybe Cure 1. But we want to get some attack magic. And as for what I'm buying here for equipment, I'm getting a buckler for Ethan to get him another one of those, and we're upgrading Logan's weapon just so it's not the dagger, because the dagger kind of sucks. Inventory in this game, by the way, is a little limited. I want to say it's like between 20 and 30 slots total. And enemies do drop items often enough, so just make sure you're always selling off some of your excess, because otherwise you're just going to be running out of slots pretty quickly. Now that the coronation is over, though, we can enter the castle and talk to the one NPC in here that really matters, because all the other doorways are blocked off. Up here on the top left, we can talk to the sage. If it's magic you seek, I'm here to provide. The way you learn magic in this game is by talking to sage NPCs in any town, and then selecting the spell you want to learn, and which of your, like 8 spell slots on each character you want to give it to. The main things you want to learn here are basically all the elemental attack magics, just to have them, and maybe Venom if you don't have it, or if you want it rather, because it does work on enemies the same way it works for us. Kills them automatically between 4 and 6 turns later. It's just that I'd say for most random encounters, honestly, your physical attack's gonna be more than enough. The main spells you're gonna use throughout this game are just curing spells. By the way that cure magic works is that it cures 10 HP for every 1 MP it costs, so Cure 1 automatically recovers 100 HP. And the spell costs from there get pretty up there in expensiveness, so be careful. Moving forward, the way I'm going to handle spell learning is I'm going to show what spells they can learn and then jump cut to one I've taught the spells to who I want to teach them to, because sometimes I take a minute to just consider if I want this spell over that spell. And speaking of cutting things out, starting in Part 2 Beyond, we're going to be cutting out any repeated random battles against enemies that we've seen before, as that just helps streamline the LP. And we're also going to be cutting out any level grinding. Speaking of which, once we enter Revere, I'm going to jump cut past part of the level grinding up to level 6 so we can go talk to Marcus. So let's go do that right now. And he runs right up to you, too. Good day, Prince. You sure are looking fitter than you did. I had a hunch you'd turn out to be a scrapper. I'm getting a little bored of Revere, so if you need a hand... Do you really want to come with us? What did you have in mind, Marcus? The Prince needs help, and, well, I'm interested. I love a good fight, and what could be better than saving a whole country? We could really use another warrior. Okay, it's a deal. All for one and one for all. And to show you my good intentions, here's a donation of 500 gold pieces. And we get Marcus, who's going to be very helpful in the early game. He's got a lot of magic to start. In fact, he actually has the first 3 levels of Flame Spell, which get a little expensive compared to his total MP for the moment, but that's going to be really powerful against most boss fights and enemies. And he also has a pretty high intellect stat to start, so he's going to be gaining MP pretty quickly. In fact, compared to Logan and Ethan, I'm going to be putting most of his level up stats early on into strength, because he already has more than enough intellect for the point in the game we have him, honestly. Speed and luck we'll get into as well, just to help him get turns a little faster. But with that, I'm going to need to end things off here. Thank you guys for watching, and in part 2, we're going to meet back in Revere after I've done my grinding up to level 8, and then head west towards the pits to hopefully spark our revolution. See you guys then.